It is the Dublin Racing Festival next weekend. It's very much the highlight of our coverage of the Irish National Hunt season, and Tim Husbands is the Chief Executive of Leopardstown Racecourse and is joining me now. I'm hoping. There he is. Tim, hi, how are you?
Good morning, Nick. How are you doing?
Really well. It's obviously a Dublin Racing Festival with a difference. It's been, as has been so well documented, challenging for everybody in the industry. But how have preparations been?
Preparation's gone really well, I have to say. The track since Christmas has been really well looked after by the lads, and I think it's in great condition. We did a test on Thursday, and the chase track is yielding to soft in places, and the hurdle is soft. We've had about 30 mils of rain since then, and there's a little bit of white stuff floating down now, but I think given the experience of Leopardstown and how we have such a really good and effective and efficient drainage system, I think the course will be in great condition for next weekend. As you said, a blue ribbon festival in both the Irish and the UK National Hunt racing calendar, really important.
We've talked a lot about prize money and how that's been affected by COVID. Just give me an example of your prize money structure for next weekend.
Yeah, well, we've got 15 races, 8 of those are grade 1. We have 1.8 million prize money, so that the prize monies, HRI have done a fantastic job in trying to retain as much as possible, and they're mostly around the 25% down on previous years, but I think that has protected the interest of both the trainers and obviously the owners, who are incredibly important in this scenario.
And do you think, with uncertainty as to whether people can get all their workforce across to the Cheltenham Festival, indeed how many horses they might bring, do you think that will have a positive impact on the number of runners at the Dublin Racing Festival, people more keen to run when they can in these big races?
Yeah, very much so. I think so. I think it's a little bit disappointing we don't have a massive amount of UK runners coming over to the Dublin Racing Festival, but the passion is still there for the Irish trainers. They have the very best horses, the very best jockeys, and I think they'll be challenging for all the major trophies over the Cheltenham Festival. And I think the importance of the Dublin Racing Festival, sometimes seen as just a stepping stone, but I think it's a really important festival now in its own right, and helps gauge at what point some of the horses are performing. And if you look at some of the records of the last years, that's a who's who of National Hunt, with the winners of Chacun Pour Soi, Notebook, latest exhibition Honeysuckle, Appreciate It, the fantastic effort of Faugheen and Delta Work, and 25% of the horses that were in Dublin Racing Festival that were won or placed were also won or placed in Cheltenham.
Tim, for you as Chief Executive of one of Ireland's most prestigious racecourses through the last year, how have you managed to balance the books?
It's challenging, I have to say, like any other industry. It's been extremely challenging. I joined about a year ago, and it wasn't quite the year that I was expecting. So we've had to look very much at how we deliver a race meeting, look at our operational costs, how we can manage those in the context of this. What's really important, though, is the presentation of professional racing that we can present on the television. We also have, I think, a responsibility to run race meetings safely, and I think we've done that, and I think the work that HRI and IHRB have done in terms of presenting the COVID protocols has shown how well we can do that over here in Ireland. And in terms of the financial well-being, yes, it's challenging. We've done encouragingly well with the exposure from streaming, but it's very difficult to replace the money coming through the turnstiles from racegoers. So our emphasis is to try and get us back on track, so to speak, towards the end of the year with the same numbers that New Zealand are having at the moment.
Are you already concentrating a marketing effort, even in the midst of the pandemic, on getting people back to the racecourse, getting people back to the sport when they're able to? Yeah,
it's a coordinated campaign that's really been prepared by HRI, not particularly track related because we don't have dates in which, or dates or targets in which we can do that. But at HRI are putting together plans as to how well we do that. You have to plan in advance. We as a racecourse are planning for what the race meeting might look like with 2,000 people or 5,000 people, or if we're lucky to get back to the 15 to 18,000, what that kind of experience might be. And there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes to try and structure that so that we can deliver that safely but also be commercially viable.
You mentioned the IHRB, the Irish Horse Racing Regulatory Board. They've been somewhat beleaguered in the last 3 weeks, and rightly so, because there have been a number of significant concerns surrounding the integrity of racing in Ireland. From your perspective, as someone who runs one of the marquee racecourses in Ireland, how much does that worry you, and how much pressure will you and your team be applying on the IHRB to get its house in order?
I think the industry is aware of some of the gaps in service delivery for us, but we work together as an industry. I have to say, coming from other industries, I think this is one of the most integrated one, and the work and the cooperation and the partnership that goes between IHRB, the industry and ourselves as racecourses will ensure that we work and we perform to the very best. I think we have some of the very best racecourses across Europe, and I think Leopardstown is obviously one of those major ones. So we've had a lot of investment. We've just put in over £20 million worth of development into the back of house scenes in creating state-of-the-art medical facilities, jockey facilities, and areas for the media to try and impress, or when that we're actually able to open that, subject to COVID protocols. So I think that we're well aware of the gaps in where we need to improve, and the two agencies are working very closely in order to do that. So whilst we accept that there are areas that we can improve on, we are working very much together to improve those.
And finally, Tim, before I let you go, how will the place look when we all finally get back? Because obviously this has given you a bit of an opportunity maybe to accelerate some of that building work, some of that construction work. What's it going to be like?
I think we're really excited about showing off what we've done. We've spent a lot of the time over the course while we've been closed. Yes, we've run 20 race meetings behind closed doors, but we've been able to finish the capital development of the new weigh room building. We've also developed new facilities, new event and bar facilities, and it looks so polished, and we're really excited about bringing racegoers back onto the track. And by racegoers, I mean not only the Irish fraternity, but we also at Leopardstown have a very significant visitorship from those from the UK and further afield, and we can't wait to look forward to bringing those back too.
I'll really miss it. I will really miss being at Leopardstown this year. Tim, thanks so much for your company. I hope the Dublin Racing Festival goes really well as you can hope, and look forward to being back with you just as soon as we can.
Thanks very much indeed, Nick. Take care.
Subscribe to Racing TV to be notified when more Luck on Sunday videos are appearing online. And don't forget to join me for the show every Sunday morning from 9 o'clock with the best guests.